Hey, what's going on to all my gaming addicts and gameaholics? Welcome back to the Gamers Anonymous Podcast, a show all about gaming and other related news to give you that fix to ease your gaming itch. This is episode number 43, and today is May 15th, 2022. In this episode, we're going to go ahead and discuss Bethesda delays, and we all found out that Starfield is delayed, as well as Redfall, which is now going to release in 2023. We're also going to talk about Xbox and their DRM problem, Xbox streaming device or their Xbox streaming stick is probably coming out within the next year. And we're also going to talk about the Gotham Knights gameplay, but more importantly, them skipping out on last gen consoles. All right. So before we go ahead and get started, of course, I'm your host, Trey Turpin, and I am accompanied by, once again, my brother, Shane Turpin. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro, man? Glad to be back doing another one once again, man. I know we missed last week, but things was going on, but it happens when we back at it, man. Running it right back up, here to talk about the gaming news that's been happening the past few weeks, and
Yep.
there's been a lot of little stuff, but some not so little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. I feel like last week was a tiny bit dry. That's why we didn't do a podcast. But that's more on myself as a content creator. We should still be able to deliver something. At least that's how I feel. So that's my apologies. But of course, nonetheless, we are back and we definitely got some news to talk about. So before we go ahead and jump into it, I'm gonna go ahead and start off and ask Shane, what we've been playing. So, bruh, what you been up to here recently?
Man, so pretty much, uh, I ain't gonna lie, man. I finally got that GTA 5, dog.
What you bought it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
finally bought
Okay,
it.
okay,
So
okay.
I've been playing that a little bit, just messing around. You know what I mean? The little bit of free time I've had to play, which hasn't been much for real. I've probably had like 2 days to play the game in the past 2 weeks.
Oh
So
man, been busy, huh?
yeah, man, it's been a busy work week, but it's all gonna pay off though. But I'm
Okay,
definitely
so
gonna make the time to game real soon for real.
have you laid low on the Elden Ring? I know you've been going
Nah, I
strong.
popped in a little bit. I popped in a little bit, but I
Hmm.
just really haven't. I haven't had time, man. I haven't
Hmm.
had time. Like we working two jobs and then doing this and then having to do everything around the house. Like, bruh, my schedule is go 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 go. Like I barely get to sit down. I get up at 5 a.m. Got to be at work at 6. Get off at 3 or 4. Come home. Got to be at my other job at 5. Get off at 10:30. Come, you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
it's stacked.
definitely.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely no stranger to that. I try to squeeze in as much gaming as I can, but like you said, adulthood and everything, you already know. Can't game
Right.
as once like how we used to back in the day. But of course
Right.
we
I can't pull a 12, 18 hour gaming session like I used to
yeah,
for
yeah,
do that days in a row. I remember that. So I couldn't wait till summertime to, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Even when it was school time, only thing you just had to go to bed a little early. You just had to be quiet, but you could still
yeah.
game it late night. You know what I'm saying? Had to be at
Yeah,
school in the morning up playing GTA 3 at 4 in the
yeah,
morning.
yeah, and then go to school 2 hours later. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Definitely, I feel it. I feel it. I did want to ask you, since you did went ahead and double dipped on the GTA 5. How's the next gen enhancements on the Xbox Series X?
I mean, to me, it looks better, but I mean, I don't think it's worth buying it for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all that.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Hmm.
to me, it's not anyway. You know what I mean? That's not why I purchased it anyway. You know what I mean? I purchased it just because the online is just it's just so much you could do. You know what I mean? It's so much you could do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. GTA Online it's its own beast.
Right?
You know.
It's so
Yeah,
much like so much potential. You could do so many different things in that. Like whatever type of game you like to play, you can figure a style or something to do in there and play it, or make something up, and play it yourself, or whatever.
Yeah. That's why I'm low key kind of boycotting it just because not really, I'm just
I'm
saying
ready
like,
for six,
yeah,
man.
that's what I'm ready for 6 too. Like I'm done hearing about GTA 5 and everything. If I did potentially decide to play it again, I'd probably try to get it on PC just
But they,
because of all the mods and stuff.
they
Like
did
it's
bring it up that it is in the works. They finally admitted it,
oh
but
yeah. Yeah, about time. When is it coming out? Another 10 years?
no, they didn't say that.
Yeah.
They didn't give no dates. They just said they're working on it. They
Exactly,
didn't give no
exactly,
dates. It's gonna be
exactly.
who knows. At
Man,
least another
hopefully,
2 3 years. I'll
yeah,
say that at least.
yeah. I would say around like, I don't know. People were saying 2025, but I don't even know. Like that seems too early to me. That's 3 years. We'll probably see
Right,
something in
that's at
2025.
least
Yeah,
3 years.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. But that's what's up though. Like I said, I know a lot of people that love playing the online, like they live, breathe playing GTA online. So I'm thinking about I think it's free on PlayStation 5 right now. So I need to go ahead and download that before I think it's supposed to last 3 months. So I think it's been about a month or two since it came out. So I think I'm gonna snag that up. But me, like I've been grinding out that Halo Infinite. That was I went ahead and finished the battle pass because season 2 just went ahead and dropped. So I finished season 1 battle pass finally. So that was a huge accomplishment to me. So really I've just been grinding on that season 2 battle pass, and I've been playing. Like they have an event right now going on for one of the new modes, which is the last Spartan standing, which is kind of like, I would say it's like a battle royale. Like it's more of like they call it free for all or attrition, which is like, everyone, is free for all and you have about
Right.
5 lives, you know. So, you play until all your lives are depleted. And I want to say around like the 7 minute mark is when like the ring starts to close, just to make sure you guys are, making sure you're staying
Not just high
engaged.
down. Right, right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, I think I won my first one the other day. Like, so definitely lets you know how good I am at that type of game. But it's definitely a lot of fun. I like how every time you kill somebody, you gain points, and the more points you get, the more guns you can unlock. Because I believe you start off with like 2 pistols, and then you kill somebody and you unlock like another pistol, and then you get like 200 more points,
So
and
you have to get kills in
yeah,
order
yeah,
to
to
progress.
either
Yeah, that's
kills
dope, though.
or if you want to just sit there and like, because when you fully die out, your orb is there and you can obtain somebody's orb and get, I think it's like 300 points.
Right.
So but people know, like people camp out of on the orbs, they wait for people to try to get those orbs. So you just see a lot of orbs on the map before people even try to pick them up. But I have collected a few orbs. Like it helps out a lot to level up to get better weapons and stuff. But yeah, and then you get drops where you can get like cloaking or extra armor and things like that. It's pretty dope. It's a
Yeah,
fun
check
game
that
mode.
out. Sound all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's definitely fun. And right now the event's going on, so there's extra challenges, so it'll help you progress through the battle pass. So that's what I've been playing. I jumped back into that Dying Light again. Been playing the Dying Light, and I've also started playing that Forza Horizon 5 as well. Jump back into that. I know it's been a while since I've last touched it, so I wanted to jump back in it and race. And that game is still as beautiful as can be. Um, you
It is
know, yeah, facts. And I love the soundtrack. Like I just love listening to the radio while I'm driving around, smashing boards, and doing the races and seeing like the drivatars of my friends like pass me up, or I hit them off the road or whatever. It's a lot of fun for sure. But that's all I've been up to. Did you want to go ahead and get this show started?
Let's get it rolling, man.
Yes, sir. All right. So before we go ahead and get started, I just wanted to go ahead and say if you would like to support the show, go ahead and subscribe to the Gamers Anonymous Podcast YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date when new videos drop. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment. For our audio listeners, make sure to subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to stay up to date for new episodes. Also, rate and leave a comment or leave a review, which would help the show out tremendously. And of course, on behalf of The Gap, a big thanks to everyone for continuing to show love and support. All right. So, Shane. Oh man, some big Xbox news dropped this week. This is all everyone was talking about. It made headlines, of course. Wasn't particularly good news.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and they went ahead and announced, Bethesda went ahead and tweeted out and pretty much told us that they are delaying Starfield and Redfall from 2022, and they're pushing it to Q1 2023. So I'm gonna pull up that article for you guys here, or it's the tweet. So I'm gonna show you guys the tweet real quick. All right. So the tweet here is by Bethesda. They went ahead and said that we made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield to the first half of 2023. So that's the first half. I said first quarter. So it said the first half of 2023. All right. They continue to say the teams at Arcane Austin, which is making Redfall, and Bethesda Game Studios, which is making Starfield, have incredible ambitions for their games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. We want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. That energy is a huge part of what inspires all of us every day and drives our own excitement for what we are creating. We can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay for both Redfall and Starfield soon. Thank you for your support. All right. So that broke the internet. That was a tweet that broke the internet. And of course, there was a bunch of backlash and frustration from it, which made Xbox Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, go ahead and, also tweet about what's going on. So he went ahead and actually tweeted that these decisions are hard on teams making the games and our fans. While I fully support giving teams time to release these great games when they are ready, we hear the feedback. Delivering quality and consistency is expected. We will continue to work to better meet those expectations. So that's the Xbox boss, Phil Spencer, just letting us know that he hears the cries, and he also understands that it's not acceptable to keep doing this, or to, temper our expectations and then fall short again. So, Shane, you already know I'm gonna go ahead and throw it to you. Um, like, what did this news do to you, and what is this going to do for Xbox? Like, what does this mean for them?
Man, I was upset when I heard this, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie. Because we was just talking on the podcast before about how I was looking forward to Starfield or and so for them to be pushing it back, I kind of mixed for real, to be honest. I'm kind of torn because I understand, if they need time to make the game the best it could be, then by all means, do it. But I just hope they actually produce. You know what I mean? Like, don't keep pushing these games back and still bringing us games that are half finished. Like, you know what I mean? Like with the whole Halo thing, they pushed it back, pushed it back, pushed it back, and then look, it still's not ready. Like, I don't know. I don't think, but Bethesda would do something of the sort. But like, so of course I was disappointed. You know what I mean? But I can understand. At first, I just thought it was a quarter. You know what I mean? Into the first quarter, but a whole half a year. There must be some issues with the game. I'd rather fix them and give me a well polished game instead of rushing it out to try to make $1 off of me.
Yeah. And listening, you sound like some reasonable people. I've listened to other podcasts, of course, about this matter, and they pretty much said the same thing. Like they were saying, like, look at what happened with Halo. Like, what if like they waited, like Starfield had a date to it and they still haven't showed gameplay. So what if they did show gameplay and it was what people didn't vibe with it, you know what I'm saying? Or it was something like, oh, like, it's like it's too late to correct course at that point. Like the game's getting
Right.
ready to come out. So it's like, the delay is good because it's like they want this to be the best that it can be. Like they want to make sure it's right. So the first time you see it, you're ready for it. Not like, oh, dang, the fans aren't, we got to fix some things. Let's go ahead and delay it at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? So definitely that. I mean, Redfall, it was definitely expected. A lot of people were saying that it was
For
going to get
sure.
pushed because it was supposed to release in the summer of this year, and we
Yeah.
still haven't seen gameplay for that. So we were expecting the delay for that, but we thought it was going to get pushed into the fall, you know. And there was rumors that Starfield might get delayed, but we, like me, I'm like, they actually gave us a hard date. I'm like, there's no way that, like, they obviously feel confident enough. They were saying that pretty much they're just in the polishing phase. They're trying to polish the game. But of course, I guess polishing is probably going to take a lot of work because, as we know, Bethesda games always launch buggy. They always do. You know what I'm saying? So I guess they're trying to eliminate that and actually have like the most bug-free game as possible. So definitely, man. I mean, definitely take as much time as you need, but it hurt Xbox because Xbox hasn't launched anything throughout the whole year, like
Nothing.
nothing. So people were like, okay, you had a lackluster first half of 2022, but we knew that these two games were going to come out
Make
this
it up.
year.
Right.
So we were like, okay, that's what they kind of did last year with Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite. So they're probably going to do the same thing with Redfall and Starfield. A lot of people were anticipating Starfield and couldn't wait to get their hands on Starfield. So with them actually knocking them out of 2022 completely and saying that it's going to come out first half of 2023, it's looking like a good, you know, 6 to 12 months before we can actually get our hands on these games, you
Just,
know.
just to make a little note, I kind of, and just tell me if you agree or not. But I kind of feel like, even though I know I did get a deal with this Game Pass, I feel like Xbox owes me some months on Game Pass for this lackluster year that they're giving me here of this service that I paid for. I
Yes.
mean, I'm not expecting a AAA game every month, but
Hmm.
can I at least get one or two in a year?
Yeah, definitely. And trust me, a lot of people were saying that. Like for us, for people who already invested like years in Game Pass, like we already paid for it, like, are the people that are really just fed up with it and want to be like, hey, can I get my money back? Is that a thing that can happen? Or, it makes you wish like, dang, should I, since it's not like you're getting a deal if you did buy a year up front, you're still paying the $180, what, like if you just did $15 a month. So
Right.
it's not like you're getting a deal.
At
So it's
all.
like, so it makes it feel like you should just do the $15 a month instead of paying in advance. So if they do have a dry spell, you can just unsubscribe to the service if you're not satisfied with it right now.
Right, right.
So definitely, yeah, you make a good point on that one. Like, because I,
I
I
really
I feel like there hasn't been too much going on in Game Pass in 2022. They might have had a game here or there, but
right.
it was nothing that shook the industry of like, oh, that game launched on Game Pass. You gotta have Game Pass right now. Nothing like that. And people
Nothing.
really, not since like Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite, you know. And
And that was last year.
yeah, exactly. And a lot of people were definitely, I know there's probably people that probably paid or subscribed to Game Pass just because they knew these games were coming, and especially
Yeah,
Starfield,
big
so
time.
I mean, I wonder if they're going to lose a lot of subscribers. Like people are saying that in order for Xbox to redeem themselves, people are like they're going to have to open up their wallet and snag some of these AAA games to put in the service day and
They're gonna
date.
have to buy GTA.
Like buy GTA 6 or buy the property in general or put
Everything,
GTA
the
5
whole
on Game Pass.
everything.
The whole shebang.
Yes, Rockstar, all that. They buying it all.
Okay. Okay. Well, before we go ahead and move on, I did want to ask you, what do you think Xbox needs to do to justify potentially not releasing any first party studio games this year? Like, do they need to snag some AAA
They
games?
gotta do
If
something. They
if
gotta
they
produce something. If they don't come out with any games this year whatsoever, not even slip a couple in somehow, some way, they gonna have to come out swinging next year.
Mhm.
Or I mean, all year long, it's gonna have to be back to back to back to back to back to back to back heat. Or I mean, I might have to back away from it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like at least go to the subscribe here or there when they got a game I want to play.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, like
So if they were to open up their wallet and snag a big third party AAA game, are there any games that come to mind that you would like to see hit the service? Because I have a game or two that I think would do well. Well, one game for certain, I think I would make a prediction this game would definitely go into Game Pass just from, speculation of mine. But do you have any wishes or you think they have to get this game? It would be a good get for Game Pass?
uh, I feel like they kind of put me on the spot. But I feel like there's a lot of games that would benefit or do good in Game Pass.
Mhm.
I mean,
Okay.
something I would have liked to see them acquire would have been the Tomb Raider stuff, but we all know what happened with that,
Okay.
or supposed to happen with it, or whatever. You know, that went through yet, or whatever.
I mean,
Either
that's
way.
more of like acquiring a studio. It would have just probably just put those Tomb Raider games in there, which people have
Right, right,
probably
right,
already
right.
played.
No, I was wanting to do more like of a make a new property with not a new property, but a new game type with it. But
Right. Well,
I can't.
while you think about it, I'll go ahead and express the game.
All right,
It's
go
pretty
for it.
much like people a lot of people, we're going to talk about this game later in the show, but Gotham Knights, people think that would be a good get to for them to open up their wallets and say, hey, WB, can I go ahead and let's go ahead and put this game in Game Pass? Just open up the wallet, that blank check or whatever, and just go ahead, and because I feel like that's going to be a big get,
Okay, you
or it's
talking
going to be
about
a big game.
some? Okay, you talking about open up the
Yeah.
wallet to buy a game to put into Game Pass, not actually purchase a game. I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
you.
no, not
Okay,
purchase a game. Yeah, do what they do with like the third party deals.
I got you. I got you.
How they do on certain games. But normally when it's a game like that, this is a game I for some reason I feel like this has to be it. Like I see this game joining the service because it's always been a pattern. Every time they add a third party game, especially when it wasn't first announced as coming to Game Pass, is because it seems like it's like received poorly, or like that the pre-orders don't match up to what the developers were looking for, the publishers were looking for. So they're like, hey, let's go ahead and throw this in the Game Pass, get that lump sum of money Xbox was giving us just to, secure our financial investments that we put into making this game. And the game that I'm thinking of is Saints Row, because the game was announced and a lot of people were not feeling it. They thought it would. They're like, what? Like, these are some nerdy people trying to be gangster. Like, this ain't the Saints Row that I know. Like, this isn't believable. Like, people, the reception of the announcement was kind of poor. And the game was supposed to come out in January, I believe, and then it got pushed to, I want to say, August of this year. So I feel like with that, like people still like on the fence of getting Saints Row, which I'm excited to play it just because I'm actually a fan of Saints Row. I think Saints Row 1 through 3 was phenomenal. After that, they started to go a little too outlandish for me. And I feel like this is just like a reboot, a well-needed reboot of that series, of that franchise. And I'm actually looking forward to it. I was bummed when it got delayed, but of course, as long as if it makes the game better, I'm all for it. But I feel like this is a get that they can definitely snag just because of, like I was just saying, they normally go after the games that, seem like, I guess, look at pre-orders, like how many people pre-ordered this game, like does Deep Silver, I believe they still own it. Are they looking like we want to go ahead and take the money from Xbox and also hopefully make some more money off of people buying it on other systems as well.
Right.
That's I feel like it's a guarantee that's going to happen. I can't think of any other game other than like the Gotham Knights. I know it would be nice if Call of Duty was going to come to the service
Yeah,
with
that'd be
them
nice.
acquiring Activision Blizzard, but I feel like that's just going to be the next time around. It'll probably
Right,
be
for sure.
once it falls through or go through. You'll probably see that game because they're supposed to skip a year, so you'll probably see Call of Duty join the service next year after they acquire them. But that would be a good get as well because I feel like that now, like without Starfield, I feel like Modern Warfare 2 was gonna definitely sell well and be the best Call of Duty ever. But now with Starfield out the way, it's just gonna shine even more. All
For
right.
sure.
But those are the games I would like to see come to the service. I'm sure there's some that I'm drawing a blank to, but
Me
they
too.
they definitely gotta come with some heat and snag some of these AAA games, these
Yeah,
third party AAA
they will
games to
definitely have
put
to
in
do
day
something
one.
to get me to believe again, for sure. I mean, I still believe in the service, and I still believe the idea they have is great, and the
Hmm.
way the direction they're going is awesome. I love the fact that they're doing something different. They're stepping outside the box. They're trying it. They're achieving these things. You know what I mean? And I don't expect everything to work seamlessly at first. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Nobody else has done nothing like this before, so I mean, I understand bugs and hiccups, but I just feel like that they got to bring some heat in order. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a little disappointed in them for this. You know what I mean? Like, those were the only real two games that anyone was looking forward to. You
Yep.
know, like
First party wise,
I couldn't wait. Yeah, right. Exactly. First party wise, right.
and
I,
and
I
that's
could. I
and that's
couldn't
why
wait.
people join the service in the first
Right.
place to play their. Yeah, it's nice to have these third party games join the service day and date, but it's like we want to see y'all have 25 plus studios. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, where are these games at? We're tired of waiting. The frustrations are definitely warranted, but I still feel like once Xbox get the ball rolling, like it's like that snowball effect is just gonna be game, 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 game. You know what I'm saying? They just got to get to the point where, like Phil said, where delivering the quality and the consistency, like that's where they have to get to. And right now we have not seen it.
Right. And but I mean, we all also knew stepping into this, embarking on this journey of this cloud service, live streaming service, that Xbox is doing here with Game Pass, that it was gonna take a while before it kicked off. You know what I mean? Even when we invested into our Game Pass for the 3 years that we had purchased, we had looked at it as an investment, and we even then I had figured it would kick off until the second year, maybe third year. Anyway, it's looking like it might be the third year, but hopefully they do something about it, man. Like, they definitely got to step it up.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, we're about to go ahead and move on to the next topic, but of course, I wanted to let you know that um I'm glad that they went ahead and announced those delays now instead of waiting for the
Mm,
showcase. So
yes,
it lets me know that maybe they wanted to get that. get that
Out
smoke
the
out of the
way.
way, let
Yeah.
everything clear, and then they were going to announce games. And I said on Twitter, I was like, I don't care what they show at this game showcase. I just want it to come out within the next 12 months. Like, show games that are coming out soon from the moment that you do the showcase, from June 12th until May of 20, or until the next summer, pretty much. Show me games that are coming out within that time frame. Don't be like, oh, this game come out in 2024, or show me a teaser of a game that's not going to come out until another couple years. Show me games that are coming out within from June of 2022 to June of 2023. That's what I would love to see. And then if you do want to show games off that are going to come out after June 2023, do it at the Game Awards, possibly Gamescom, which I think that's a little bit too soon. That's usually in August, but do it some other time. Show me games that are coming out soon, and then save the Game Awards. Show me a game that's coming out late 2023 or 2024, and then next year do the same thing. Show me games that are coming out in June 2023 to June 2024. Like, keep it tight, So I went ahead and tagged Phil Spencer and Xbox in it. So hopefully, they're
Maybe
able
they'll
to
they'll
see
see
it.
it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
huh?
yeah, yeah. That would be dope. But yeah. I want to talk more about the showcase, but I was going to wait until a couple weeks leading up to the show before we do our
Yeah, sure.
predictions. So definitely where we let you know what we would like to see at the showcase. Just because I would have been like, yeah, I want to see Starfield, and then this happens, and it's like, oh, like that's a prediction wasted. All right. So was there anything else you wanted to add on to this before we move on to the next topic?
Nah, man.
All right. That's what I like to hear. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic here, which is I don't know about you guys, but I experienced an outage. It's just more bad news on Xbox's front. There was an outage that happened last weekend. A lot of people weren't able to play their games that they own digitally while the outage was going on, even on offline mode while they were offline. So this brought up something that a lot of people feared when they announced the Xbox One, which was their DRM. I think it's what the digital rights management, something like, I think that's what it stands for, of how you own the digital rights of said game, whether it's a movie, music, or game, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this article I have for you guys. Let's see here. So I have this. Yep, this is the right one. So this is a article that is on windowscentral.com. It's pretty lengthy, so just bear with me here. I just highlighted some important parts of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to read through it as quickly as possible. But so on this article on Windows Central, pretty much states that Xbox has a uniquely controversial history with digital rights management, otherwise known as DRM. DRM refers to the general practice of verifying the authenticity of a digital piece of content, whether it is music, movies, or of course games. DRM controversies crop up from time to time. I recall the disaster that was 2013 SimCity from EA. Its legendarily awful DRM failed on launch day, leading to thousands being unable to access offline play or even do basic things like save games. It came hot on the heels of Xbox One's own DRM disaster, with the revelation that the console would be an always online affair. Microsoft would, of course, later backtrack, but the internet has a long memory.
Facts.
All right. This past weekend, Xbox's authentication servers were down for millions of gamers across the world, raising some bad memories for Xbox users. Across the weekend, many users were slapped with the quote, the owner of this content needs to sign in, quote, messages, as Xbox's servers failed to verify the authenticity of Xbox users' ownership of specific content. On Xbox consoles, you essentially have two login states for your account. One is a home Xbox login, and another is your cloud login. The cloud login is intended to be used on external Xbox consoles in situations where you might be visiting a friend, for example, so you can team up and play together. Many users also use this feature to share games with a friend, which is I'm doing it with Tommy, or with a second console within their household. As someone who library shares with a family member, it's often a consequence that during periods when Xbox Live goes down, I lose access to my games. This is because to verify your license rights to your cloud login, naturally, you need to be able to connect to the cloud. Theoretically, users who are playing on their account's home console shouldn't have had any issues, given that the DRM check-ins for licenses on the home console is far more generous. However, many users were sharing reports that they were unable to access ownership of their games even on home consoles. Although it seems as though at least some of these scenarios were the results of confusion over how different games interact with DRM. A scenario where you can access an offline game even on your home console may arise when you're attempting to play a game that hasn't received its initial offline license for any particular reason. Without DRM, an Xbox owner would theoretically be able to download the hundreds of games on Xbox Game Pass and EA Play using a $1 trial, disconnect their console, and have them forever without paying for it, for example. DRM obviously has some merits for verifying digital ownership and file integrity, but there's obviously a point where DRM negatively impacts a paying user's experience, as we saw this past weekend. Opponents of DRM lament the fact that licensed servers shut down in some theoretical distant future. All of that content will become inaccessible. All right. And that's all I have here. I told you it was a little long-winded there. But I just highlighted some key points as to why people like feel that Xbox need to, not just Xbox, but just companies need to figure out this DRM nonsense. And some pretty much what people fear about these like digitally owning games. That's why people like to keep the games physically, so if for some reason the internet goes out forever, people can still play their games offline without having to log in and get that verification to play their games. All right, so Shane, I want to hear from you. I don't think I talked to you last weekend. Did you experience any outage issues? And
Actually, I did, but I didn't know anything about all this until a few days ago. But I'm just now putting two and two together. I actually got that message from several games, uh, even games in Game Pass as well. And I just didn't play. I just ended up watching YouTube or something. But so I thought that was kind of odd. But because I didn't think it had affected me, but obviously it had. So, but it only happened that one day, and the next day everything was fine. Like I said, I have limited time to play, so. But definitely, I feel like they need to get it together. I mean, it's kind of like they have to come up with a system to where the game has to be able to authenticate itself, or the file has to be able to authenticate itself with the user in order, it can be able to play the game, or they're allowed to play the game, or to that effect. So to where the system doesn't have to check in with Xbox's system so much, to where it just communicates with the profile, the game itself. You know what I'm saying? It validates the verification through the profile. But it would still have to talk to the Xbox server at some point in time to know, like, the validation list or whatever, or something to that effect. Or you get what I'm saying? But so it's like it's kind of tricky in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, but they definitely got to figure out something better because I would hate for the fact that, let's say Microsoft went under, God forbid, but they went under and their servers went down, and so just all of our digital titles are gone. I no longer own them. I got this box with these 800 games on it, and it's trash.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
definitely.
this account that I invested all this money into is just trash. Like all the games I downloaded on my Xbox account, all that is just gone. Like that's not cool. You know what I mean? But will that happen? I don't think so. I think they're in this for the long haul. I mean, they seem to be. They're buying up studios. They're doing things to prove that they're trying to stick around. So, I mean, I feel like that situation is rare. But as far as having to deal with these outages, they got to do better with that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I honestly don't know what they need to do. I remember when they were pushing this DRM of the Xbox One like being always online. I remember there like people were bashing it a little too quick. Like this is a prime example of what people are afraid
We're
of.
talking about, yeah,
Yeah, but
think more.
I remember there being like a shining light as well, like a silver lining. Like I remember it was like you owned it and then you were able to have like tokens or something where you can like actually send a digital copy to a friend so they can play it and things like this for so long. Or like I don't know, I remember there was something like benefits of it always being online, but as we know that's not always the case. Like everybody don't have like people, I'm sure everyone's internet has gone down at one time or another, you know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
So that's mm, I mean, it's definitely. I just wanted to hear your opinion on it because I know you usually look more. I believe you're the one that told me
But
that.
but I feel like boohoo, Xbox's servers went out. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that happens. I mean, uh, people were reporting different times. Some people were saying 12 hours. Some people were saying 2, 3 days. Some people
Hmm.
are still saying they're having issues. I
Hmm.
don't know really what the case is with everybody. Seems like it's just weird that everybody's like having different symptoms and for different periods of time. But
Hmm.
also though, like as far as like now goes, when it comes to like always being online and whatnot, it's kind of like a necessity, especially with the uh the saves traveling and then being able to play on jump from device to device to device, and your saves travel with you, and being able to jump back in the game wherever you were before and seamlessly. So I mean, it has to, your devices or the Game Pass app has to be able to communicate with something to verify all of that at all times in order for you to play these games. So I just kind of feel like it's inevitable to just have to be wired all the time to play games. I feel like no, it is going to be problems, yeah, because people are going to have outages and whatnot. But hopefully, eventually, the internet gets to a point to where everyone has strong, fast speeds and less outages.
Yeah, I pretty much just chalked it up. I was talking with somebody on Twitter, and I was just like, I mean, hopefully they're able to figure something out, to make it better for us. But in the meantime, you just gotta enjoy it while it's here at this moment. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of hurts to say, but it's true. Like, because you really don't know the future. But I don't think that the future is all doom and gloom. Like, I feel like, if anything, if Xbox wasn't in the gaming business, I'm pretty sure their Azure cloud service is always going to be here. They're pushing that. That is the future. A lot of services use Azure. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you'll still be able to access your game library and the things that you own through
For sure.
through Microsoft and things like that. But it is a concern, and I would love to see Microsoft figure out a solution, or all companies try to come together and figure out a solution on if it is going to be an all digital future. How can we preserve that even if you can't always be
Sure.
online, you know.
Right. Facts.
But yeah, so hopefully they figured that out. I'm glad the outage is over. It definitely gave me an excuse to fire up my Switch and my PlayStation 5 during that time. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, definitely, we're back in business. And like I said, hopefully they're able to resolve that or give us better answers in the future, or if it ever happens again, you know. But all right.
Do better, Xbox.
Yeah, facts. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic. On lighter news, this once again has popped up. We're gonna talk about it real quick. It looks like Xbox is once again, I don't know if it was a rumor or if someone, I believe it was an article on Venture Beat, went ahead and said that Xbox is still looking into releasing a new device, which is like their streaming stick, their
Oh
Game Pass
yeah.
streaming stick, and also develop a TV app, so you don't even need a console, or if you don't have a phone or don't want to play on your phone, you want to play on a bigger screen, you can actually access and stream those games on your TV or any screen with HDMI or whatever they're going to use for you to connect to it. So I'm gonna pull up this article here. All right, this is an article on digitaltrends.com. Billy Givens, he just goes ahead and says that Microsoft seems poised to make game streaming more accessible and efficient than it's ever been with the new cloud streaming device that is allegedly set to launch at some point in 2023. Sources tell VentureBeat that Microsoft is creating a streaming stick, not unlike those available from media streaming giants Roku and Amazon, and that it will provide users with access to movies and television streaming as well. Microsoft is also said to be working closely with Samsung to develop an Xbox game streaming app for its television lineup. So Shane, I know we've talked about this on the podcast previously. So like, do you still think this is a good idea? Do you think like this,
Yeah.
is this just another initiative for them to put gaming everywhere? Even though,
Exactly. I mean, it's great. It more options for me to play, more ways to bring people in. I mean, depending on the price of this thing, and it's also an app for your TV. That sounds free to me. I mean, for real, like so. Uh, Depending on the price of the little stick, you know what I mean? 25, 30, 50, maybe even a little more, depending.
50.
I mean, depending, if you wouldn't pay 50. How much you think a Fire Stick is?
True. Yeah, I mean, that's
How
true.
much you think
That's true.
a Chromecast is? They about $35, $40. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking
uh,
of more like $20,
I'm
maybe
just saying.
30, maybe
I'm just
30. But yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying.
It's either
Dongles
$50 to
aren't cheap,
stream.
not all of
Yeah.
them.
So then I might as well just wait for the Samsung app then.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
That's what I said. That's what I like. I like that part right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, I can play my games more places. They get this DRM stuff taken care of,
Yeah. Yeah.
less of those problems, and hopefully, man, they can shape this uh, cloud streaming up a little bit better. I know it has a lot to do with your internet connection and just some of the game you choose to play too. But I've
Hmm.
had good experiences and I've had bad. But we all know that it's not 100% the wave.
Yeah.
Uh, but it does have potential. You know what I mean? It does.
Hmm.
Some games I can digest with no problem. But I'm gonna have to do another test too, just to see what's going on. But I mean, it just opens up more options. So it's a win-win. I mean, a lower entry point for people to get into it to digest their content. Why
Yep.
not?
Yep. That's exactly what it's for. And I feel like it's, like I said, I think because they do have a close relationship with Samsung. If you don't have a Samsung TV, then the dongle would have to be, the thing for you. If you don't own a console, or like, hey, you don't want to play on your small little screen on your phone, and you want to travel, like, we're about to go on vacation here in a couple months, we could just go ahead and take this dongle and plug it up to the hotel TV, connect to the Wi-Fi and play games like that instead of having to bring a console or
Bringing
just
the whole system. Yeah.
playing on your phone, you know. So that I can definitely see it as a good thing. Like I said, we talked about it before. I just wanted to reiterate because it sounds like it's still going to be a thing, and
It
it's
definitely
probably
is. They're definitely working on it.
yeah, it's just a no-brainer at this point. That DRM thing definitely didn't help matters much, but other than that, like, what I'm saying, it's like you're paying $50, you're not paying $300 for a console to play, what I'm saying, and you could take this, like, it's easier to travel with this dongle or just download that app on a Samsung TV than it is to go out and purchase one of these consoles.
50 up front with a month free or something of Game Pass.
I feel
And
like if you do buy it, they'll at least give you 3 months. I feel like at
at
least go
least
ahead.
get some. At least get
Yeah.
2 weeks or a month, something.
Nah, I'm asking for 3 months, nothing less.
Well, this year it really don't matter. 'Cause
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There's nothing to
Hey,
play.
nah, I'm just
Right.
playing. There's still
Yeah.
tons of games in there to play.
Oh yeah,
But still,
definitely. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that it's still rumblings and it's probably coming sooner than later. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our last topic here, which is wanted to go ahead and talk about this as well. Um, it looks like now, me, I'm very excited. Like I said, I mentioned it earlier in the podcast. I'm really excited for Gotham Knights. They went ahead and showed a new trailer or gameplay demo of I believe it was Nightwing and Red Hood. Went ahead and just showed us more of the game, more of what the city looks like, and what we're going to be expecting when the game launches October 25th. Um, Definitely, I'm excited, but that's not what stole the show. What stole the show was the fact that they went ahead and announced that they're dropping the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One versions. And a lot of people were saying, like, is this the start of, you know, developers just dropping last gen completely, or should they start following this? And like, is it a good time to go ahead and just stop worrying about last generation? All right, so before go ahead and get started, I seen it look like you was about to say something. um
my,
I,
my initial thought was
hold on, I got an article, article for days.
for sure. Go ahead,
All
run
right,
it.
let's see. All right. So, it's just real quick. So this is on IGN.com. So it says Gotham Knights will no longer be released for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. When the game was first revealed in 2020, it was set to include PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions, but those have seemingly been canceled ahead of release. In an announcement about a new gameplay trailer today, publisher Warner Brothers Interactive included a very short note about the last gen versions of the game no longer being released. No specific reasoning was given other than to say that it would provide players with the best possible gameplay experience. All right. So now go ahead. What was your initial thought?
Now after hearing that, though, I mean, they kind of said it there themselves. I mean, they didn't really say why, but to give you the best playable experience.
hmm
I mean, it's just true though. In order to take advantage of this hardware, we all know the older consoles were holding these games back. So I mean, yeah, it's going to come a time where it's going to be time to move forward. Are we at that time though? My initial reaction was move on, move along, let's go, let's get these games. But then I started thinking that, yeah, as hard as it was to get a console, yeah, I have one, but does everybody have one?
Right.
Like, how much of a fan base are we alienating by skipping up to, and are the consoles numbers at a decent point to where we could just say, forget our last gen?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What's the sales numbers? Is it, are we, is it profitable? Is it
Right.
worth it? You know what I mean? Uh, and that's just, I worry a little bit if it is the right idea, if it is the right time to go ahead and cut them off, because we all know how hard it was to get your hands on these consoles. Now it's a little easier, but it's still a task.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't just walk in the store and look up, get you one. You know what I mean? You gotta do some online tricks and refresh the page 1,000 times and put it in two different carts, and you know, like
Well,
you still gotta go.
hold on, Shane. The Xbox, you could walk into the store and pick one up. Nobody wants an Xbox.
Nah, and I like that. I'm not seeing them in the wild.
Hmm.
Online, maybe you might come across something,
Hmm.
but not in the wild.
Yeah.
But by the way, Xbox does have refurbished Xbox on their website. As of, I think I seen it yesterday.
Okay.
Where it was like $30 off for refurbs directly from Microsoft.
Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah. I've definitely seen some on, like you said, the websites for Xbox Series X. I can walk into
yeah,
any store and get an
yeah,
S. Like I've seen that every store I go into, there's always an S for
right,
me. But I mean, to answer your point, like I feel like I remember it was a similar situation with a Warner Brothers game. Um, it was what was it for the last generation? It was the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I wonder if it's the same time frame because it launched in 2013. Yeah, so 2015. So around the same time frame. I think this one might be a little bit longer. But I remember Mortal Kombat X was supposed to come out for the 360 and the PlayStation 3, but they went ahead and launched it on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and still said that they were working on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 versions. But then weeks went by, still nothing. And then eventually they just said they canceled it completely. So this is another Warner Brothers game, and they're actually just getting ahead of the curve and saying we're just forgetting about them. And I want to say, like, it's probably a good move on their part. I do know games are probably way more expensive to make now than it was back in 2015,
for
but
sure.
I want to say the Xbox Series consoles and the PlayStation 5 have already sold faster, more units faster in their lifespan than their last generation counterparts.
Right, right.
So if they were able to do it back then with not worrying about taking a loss or anything like that, then I don't see
Yeah, they
why
should be fine
they
now.
should be
Right, right,
fine
right,
now. Yeah, because it's a lot of people have these next gen or these current gen consoles now, believe it or not. It's just the fact that, like, I guess now, like, just imagine if there was plentiful stock. Like, I wonder, like, the numbers would be, I'm sure everyone would have a next gen console or a current gen console right now, like at the rate. But then again, I also feel like they're probably selling like hotcakes because they were so hard to find. So people had that FOMO, that fear of missing out, or, oh man, nobody can get their hands on it. I need to get my hands on it. But if it was just there and they were still supporting last gen, people probably wouldn't have rushed to get the consoles. You know what I'm saying? So it's give or
true
take
that.
there. But definitely, I feel like they said, these consoles are selling a lot faster than their last gen counterparts. So I'm sure they're like, hey, we'll definitely make our money. And when people do get next gen consoles, this is a game that they'll probably go ahead and just pick up.
Right,
Instead of them having to say like, hey, if you buy this game, if you buy the PlayStation 4 version, it will carry over to the PlayStation 5 version. Just cut that out and just be like, hey, when you get a PlayStation 5, you can play this game.
right.
So, but that's all I had to say about it. Really, I think it's time to move on.
I've been
From
ready for real.
I've been ready. This it's hard to say because, like, I feel like for different reasons, of course, I feel like last gen was like not a good gen for me,
Yeah,
in my eyes. Like I
It
feel like
was,
it was
it was
like,
probably the worst Xbox year generation. I feel.
I'm like, even PlayStation 4. Like, yeah, I mean, I just feel like the games, like gaming wise,
or
like
game wise.
nothing is going to touch the 360 and the PlayStation 3 generation. Like, it was just so many brand new experiences and everything. Like last year, like I feel like the 360 and the PlayStation 3 generation offered so much to gaming, to how we know gaming today versus last generation, which was just like battle royale, and that's battle passes. That's the only benefits that we got from that generation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like nothing else benefited from the latter. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would love to hear your comments and feedback on like, oh no, Trey, you're tripping. Last generation brought this, that, and the third and changed gaming forever. No, literally all I see is that we got battle royales and battle passes, so more free to play games, I guess. That's about it for me. Like the generation before that, online gaming booming. You know what I'm saying? Like all these awesome franchises that we know and love today. Like what like come on now, what franchise that came out last generation that's really so big and prevalent today? And if there is one, there was probably just one sequel. Like then once a game came out, it was like 20 sequels. Like, dang, slow down. Now it's just like one game. Oh, that was the big game of the generation. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. And my what I was going to say is that like I felt like this generation was going to be different, but it's starting off so slow for me.
Super.
Like that's why I'm like, yeah, go ahead and leave these generations behind, and just move on. I mean, I'm probably a little biased because I've had both of my consoles day one since they came out, so I was locked and loaded and ready to go. And I understood why they held on to the generations because not everybody could get their hands on a console. But I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least on the Xbox aspects, everybody got PCs. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you need to support Xbox One? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm
I
sure,
mean, if they do the Xbox One thing and just do like they can still include them, but just do the streaming, cloud streaming only for them, that was
but
still
that's not a good, yeah, play our new game and then they play it like we were just saying. Streaming's not,
right. Not up to par. Right. You right. You
like
right.
it's a nice option, but
It ain't
you
the
you don't
fix
want
all.
you don't want that to be your first impression of a game,
True enough.
you know.
True enough.
So that's just my little 2 cents that I have about the matter. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap it up?
Nah, man. Sounds good.
All right, great. Okay. All right. So uh thank you guys for making it to the end of the show. We went ahead and talked about the devastating news of Bethesda delaying Starfield and Redfall to 2023. Went ahead and talked about the outage, Xbox outage that happened last year, the Xbox streaming stick still in talks of coming out. And we talked about, we just need to go ahead and move on from last gen, and just all games need to come out, for this current gen and moving forward. So, uh,
Nick.
so definitely go ahead and, man, let me know in the comments, what you guys thought about these. Let me know like how you feel about the matter, if you agree with us or disagree. If you could just go ahead and smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it. You'll help out the channel a lot. Make sure you share the podcast to a friend. It's definitely, I feel like this is a special podcast, and I wanted to grow into something big. So your little like of the video, or you sharing it and subscribing to the video, would really help us propel this platform even further. So I just want to thank you guys for that. And also go ahead and follow me on Twitter. My Twitter name is @DonnyTress, DONNYTR, the number 3S. Go ahead and follow me, man. Like I said, I talk about nothing but games. I'll definitely follow you guys back. Like I said, when big news happens like this, definitely we were all going at it on Twitter. It was just a fun time to hear everybody's frustration and thoughts on what's Xbox's future going to be, or their 2022 year is going to be like. So it was definitely a lot of fun. Shane, where could these people find you at?
You can reach me on Twitter. That's at TurpTech. It's right here on the screen, I believe. Should be
Yeah,
somewhere in
looks
this
good.
area. Yes, at TurpTech. That's TurpTech. That's on Twitter. Hit me up, man. Feel free to have any conversation about gaming or challenge me to a game or anything, man. If I get some more free time, I would definitely start responding back more and being a little more active on Twitter. I got a few things in the process I'm trying to get together, but definitely gonna be a good year for us this year. So please stay tuned, give us likes, subscribes, and share. Please, we greatly appreciate it. We do this because we love to, not because we have to.
Yes, sir. Yep. Just fans of gaming, man. That's why we do it. So, but definitely I know our 50th episode is coming up. Definitely want to do something special. I didn't do anything for the 1 year anniversary, which was on May 1st. So definitely I would like to do something for this 50th episode. I think I might go ahead and test out the waters on doing it live. So that's definitely in the cards for that episode, and I'm gonna try to have another guest or so appear on that episode. So those are just my ideas on what's happening. So but other than that, man, like I said one last time, go ahead and make sure you leave comments, like, and subscribe to the Gamers Anonymous Podcast YouTube channel. And go ahead and follow us on your favorite podcasting service. You know, man, it's been fun and it's been real. But of course, until next time, never stop gaming. Peace.
Mhm.